Hi folks, welcome to this video on G4G on YouTube. Today we're taking a look at Night America Wombo combos. Today's background music is brought to you by the Undertale OST, a game that everybody was raving about maybe about a year ago, so not one that I ever played, unfortunately, but really good music and a lot of people really liked it. So let's jump right in and talk about some Night America Wombo combos. Now, I did do a video on this before, and that was Night America mostly teaming up with people who had free action buffs. And, you know, it honestly may have led to Playdom making some changes, because I did mention about Kraven getting double super heroic, and then that was in the patch notes. So, yeah, Playdom probably listened on that one. As far as I know, I was the only one talking about double heroic over there. So I do think there is a high potential Playdom is probably aware of that through my video. So for this particular team up, we have Nerkkod. And anytime you run this setup with a generalist, you should always be running morale boost. So Nerkkod is way before Night America, which is good. Okay. So I'm going to use the Shepherd Staff, which is going to give everybody, other than my agent, an extra turn next round. And I would be stunned. But because I'm tanking, Sin's going to pop me for a tactical bonus. So I'll get my turn back. Alright, we are going to do the typical Nerkkod opening of Call the Seas and Preserver. We're going to stop. And now we're going to use War Stories. So we have now crossed over into round 2. As you can see, I have already been knifed through my Preserver. That was my tactical turn, and I took my stun from Lead the Charge. So if we look, Preserver is already off my agent. It's gone. It is still, however, on these other two because they didn't take damage. So I can apply it again, and because of Lead the Charge, I don't lose a turn. Kind of neat. Now, the Shepherd Staff is up again because Night America reset it, so that in round 2, these two guys are going to get 2 extra turns again. Now I'm going to use Crease Speed, which means even if I didn't have a blaster on the other side, I still would not lose a turn next round. And that's actually going to be its own video. That'll be my next Dirty Tricks video. Spirit of America. Actually, I should have had an extra turn on Night America there. I don't know why he lost a turn. See, I got my turn back because of the Crease Speed. I wanted to miss there because I want Sin to get reinforcements. But as you can see, I haven't been debuffed yet, and that's because the Preserver's just kind of holding on. I'm now a Scrapper because of the Vanguard. Every time I do Breaching Strike, I get Rising Up buffs for her, which works out pretty well. Now he gets his extra turn. And thanks to that, Call the Seas is available again. I can just put it right back up. And then bang. Nerkkod, I would say a solid A- for a team up with Night America. She comes out pretty well. I'm now going to show you one of my A+ teams on this one. Destroyer. Here is how I would recommend you kit out Destroyer if you plan to do this. And once we start the battle, we'll start talking about why Destroyer is so great. So first, I would definitely do morale boost. That one is something that would work out pretty well. The other thing you could do to ensure maximum destructibility, no pun intended, Destroyer, I would give him a Mystic ISO and turn him into magic. Mystical and morale boost. And I think Destroyer would walk through everything. Here on Disintegration Beam, which is ranged. Ranged, energy, and fire. No radiation, so Curse won't do anything about it. Ionizing isn't too bad. Suppressing to give himself a shield is good. Aiming would be very good because he does have some ranged attacks. Bursting is not too bad because of all those psychic shields from the metaphysical psychic shielding bitch-ass thing that shield never seems to fucking go away. Or even psychic focus. That's definitely a possibility because it's not tech. The best thing you could do for Crush is either Mauling or Sudarasu. Mauling works out really well with him because it allows him to stack up a lot of destructive essences. All of these are buffs, so you can do Bolstering Fortitude. Oh yeah, because of his protecty thing. So he's viable for some of the protecty ones over here. But you could, of course, go Stamina Restore with Gracious. Manifesting, I wouldn't go with. Blessing is not too bad because of his, that one, cooldown. Essence of Youth. And then, of course, you have the Rising Up one, but that doesn't count because he's not applying it to anybody else. All honesty, Aware would be very good, and Stamina Restore would be very good. If your agent is tanking, don't bother with Aware. It won't help you. Obliteration Wave, ranged energy fire, pretty much anything you could do for Disintegration Beam, you can do there. So, let me show you how Knight America turns Destroyer into the new Molly. You want to talk about Hulk Smash? It's coming. So again, we'll use Shepherd's Staff. Then I use the Brawn Mace. Destroyer, straight up attack on this. On the agent, really, you should run the Neurotrope for this setup. Wow, why does... Oh, that's me. Okay. We now have a stack of Essence. Spirit of America is very, very good for Destroyer because if he joins in on an attack, another destructive essence. If you had Neurotrope and Destroyer got hit and he countered, destructive essence. Knight America does his nice little interrupt. So if we look at Destroyer, he only has one destructive essence. That's why you want to try to accelerate him a little bit. Unfortunately, he's being a little slow. But because of Lead the Charge, he now gets an extra turn. So we are going to Frenzy. And he can build up destructive essence while he is... Okay, that was a little weird. I think I kind of flubbed that a bit. He was technically exhausted, which he was not able to go through the rest of his frenzy. Which kind of sucks. However, the Shepherd's Staff is off cooldown, so now everybody next round gets 2 actions. Again. Good. We wanted reinforcements. We need extra people here. My agent is stunned because of lead the charge. And he didn't have the Brawn Mace up for that one, so he didn't have crease speed. So, if we look at him, he only has one destructive essence. He's now got 2. And since I got the cooldown reset on Alluring Light, I can go ahead and protect myself. Yay, that's what Destroyer needs to do. He needs to get in those extra attacks as much as possible. So I just want to stay put. I don't want to try to cause extra damage here. So if I had played my cards a little bit better, basically what happens is he frenzies. Knight America uses War Stories, and then he can frenzy again, because everything he does in his frenzy still gives him destructive essence. So even if your first frenzy is only at 2 stacks of destructive essence, that's fine. He's going to get 3 at least during his frenzy. And then Knight America knocks his cooldown. And he can do a full frenzy the next round. Huge. I didn't play that one very well. But it's a huge, huge combo with Knight America. One of the absolute best that we played around with on the stream. Destroyer just does an absolute shit ton of damage when he's allowed to frenzy twice, back-to-back rounds. Here, we're going to go ahead and bring in Angel, but not the Scrapper or the Blaster. We're going to bring in Generalist Angel. Again, you should run Morale Boost, and the other thing you should do for him, I think, would be Risen Force or Measured. For his level 1, you should definitely have the Penitent ISO, which is fairly easy to farm. The Penitent Man shall pass. The Penitent Man shall pass. The Penitent Man kneels before God and prays. I hope somebody knows that quote. God, I really hope somebody knows that. Please write down in the description below if you know what I was just quoting. Nifty thing about Generalist Angel. Back in the day, people didn't know how to work with him when he was on defense because them big flappy wings get in the way and you try to click on the other people and you couldn't. But people forgot up here and down on the health bars are valid targets too. So what we're going to do is we're going to do lead the charge. And then we're going to go ahead and do a positive Manus. It restores Knight America to health, it restores his stamina, and it protects him from dying. Now here, I'm going to use because 2 lead the charges went out, I canceled Angels for himself, and Angel cancels my agents. And we're just going to stay put. I don't want to do a lot of damage. On Angel's level 9, I would absolutely be running the buff equals stamina ISO. Now, I'm going to use... We are now in round 2. I'm going to use War Stories. And because of lead the charge, I'm still allowed to do something else. So now I get to do something attack-based. Angel is back up off cooldown. Because lead the charge from the agent reset him. So now, if we look at Knight America, he has recuperation. He has Blessing, and he has Guardian Angel from Angel. Now Angel has protected somebody else, too. And because of Lead the Charge, he can still do something. So I'm going to open up with this. That is basically a mini morale boost. And applies Blessing. So all other healing now gets stronger. Shepherd's Staff. More healing. And now Angel and Knight America get extra turns again next round. More healing and a shield. Can you imagine if this was PvP and I did not have Despair on me? How hardy my team is right now? Clearly not something you should run on defense, because this requires very, very careful and tactical planning. To mesh all these buffs together and all these lead the charges and whatnot. But a couple people who watched me do this on the stream went off and tried it themselves, and they're like, my god, my stamina just doesn't go anywhere. I have such incredibly high stamina. Mauling is really, really good for this one. Now, if we look, I have Divine Inspiration, and it's still up, so I don't need to refresh it. So I'm going to try to take advantage of the Finest Hour ISO over here. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any Finest Hour buffs, but there we go. The best thing to do would be to run the Neurotrope, and I think I will actually do that on the next fight. There's the Generalized before Sin attacked. In all honesty, free passive Generalizes is just so good in PvP. To just turn off Bruisers and Infiltrators. Cloak and Dagger Generalized can't do anything with her Scrapper side or her Infiltrator side. Kurth. No Enraged. Null. No Enraged. Agent. No Enraged. No Snappy Service or anything. So we've seen Destroyer. We've seen Angel. Let me set him back to normal. We'll show one more solid one. And then we will talk about some honorable mentions. So, I'm going to grab Nerkkod, and I am going to take the weather control device off my agent. And get the Neurotrope. Boy, I wish type searching would still work in full screen. Even in the Facebook arcade, you can't do it. I wonder if I hit escape. Ah, yes. So we hit escape. That'll work. Neurotrope, where are you? Angel likes the Neurotrope. Nerkkod likes the Neurotrope. Let's bring it. This is another one of my favorite. I would honestly say that Destroyer is my favorite combo, just due to the raw offensive power of it, and it just reminds me of the old Mauling Tantrum days. Alright, so, first thing you do on Nerkkod is Call the Seas, and then Preserver. Notice I didn't use War Stories, because we're not ready for it. So here, Neurotrope, and Shepherd's Staff. Sadly, as you can see, Preserver is already gone because my agent took damage. It is disgusting how weak Nerkkod's shield is. So if we look at my agent, we see Crown of Glory, Rebuff, Recuperation, Agile, Blessing, Epiphany, Focus, Fortify, Strength, Warning Essence. No shield anymore. No Preserver because it's already been penetrated. Sad thing. So I'm just going to stay put for now because I don't want to kill people too quick. I'm going to use the Brawn Mace to bury the cooldown of the Shepherd's Staff. Now we use War Stories. And because of Lead the Charge, I can do whatever I want now on Knight America. I could attack, or I could use Spirit of America again. The Recuperation we know is already going to be up, but Blessing has expired because it only lasts for a round. So now look, if I was hit hard enough, I could do Preserver again if I wanted to. What I'm going to do is some single target. And now I can reapply Preserver. On my agent's turn, he's stunned because of Shepherd's Staff, but then got it back because of the Brawn Mace's crease speed. And look, Neurotrope again. So if you're unhappy with your first round of buffs, you could just get it right back off of the Neurotrope, and I can feed an extra turn to Nerkkod and Knight America. Love this combo. This one is really good because Nerkkod just gets so beefy from this setup. She did 65k to Sin before when I was first testing this one out. So we've dealt with Destroyer, we've dealt with Nerkkod, we have dealt with Angel. I'm going to show you one more good one, and then we will go to the honorable mentions. Skrin. My recommendation for Skrin, use the Scrapper version because she gets a better benefit out of it. At 15, Scrapper Skrin, other than the fact that we're dealing with a lot of bruisers, would be better. So she has her Objection ISO. Works really nicely with Knight America because they both like to do a lot of interrupts. That was actually... well, yeah, that's okay. Skrin has not gone yet, so I cannot use Knight America's War Stories. So I'm going to do Spirit of America instead. I'm just going to chill out. This is where Skrin, being a scrapper, would work out really well, because this would be a double punch. And then this would exploit opportunity and then follow up with a punch. For this setup, the Neurotrope is a little less important. I would maybe run the Scroll of Runamaroth or any other opportunistic debuffer. Now, we're kind of kicking her... yeah. Well, you get the point. Basically, Knight America would War Stories, and then Skrin's Burst of Speed would be up again. So, if she was a scrapper... 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, 4 hit, round 1, round 2, 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, 4 hit. The only thing she can't do is throw the granite twice. Alright, let's go ahead and discuss the honorable mentions here for Knight America's War Stories, and then we will wrap up the video. Try to make this as quick as possible here. He gets a benefit off combat awareness. Evasive maneuvers, you can essentially give yourself a Neurotrope counter twice in a row. Doctor Strange, with the ISO that allows you to phase people, can phase 2 people in back-to-back rounds. HAIF we've already dealt with. Invisible Woman can reapply the shield. She is pretty good because she can absorb energy and then absorb energy again, and she feeds Rally into Knight America, which is essentially like having an extra turn. She can Berserker and then Berserker again after Berserker falls off, but before Inspire Courage is available again. He can do Spider Sense, Spider Sense. She gets a really good benefit because she can do Protective Shroud, which is only up for 2 rounds, but then cast it again before the 4-round cooldown is up. Age of Ultron Thor can do Inspire Bravery, which has a Mystic level Shroud that works for him and the agent if you run the Legion gun. So you could start off the fight with the Mystic or the Warding Essence in round 1, Inspire Bravery in round 2, War Stories, Inspire Bravery round 3. Scarlet Witch can use Chaos Shield off cooldown and can break the cooldown in round 1 a probability field. So if the Knight America is the first to act in round 1 or before Scarlet Witch, he can use War Stories and allow probability field in round 1. Nothing fancy over here other than Emma having unlocked potential and then being able to unlock potential again next round. Generalist Beast comes off really, really good because Grapes of Wrath is a Neurotrope. So if you don't have the Neurotrope, Beast can use it. You can use it, Knight America can War Stories, and then it's available again. Remember, Beast gets benefits every round he doesn't attack. Psylocke is very good right now in the meta because Kinetic Shield preemptively creates shields, bigger shields if you use Mental Coordination, and you are immune to psychic attacks when this shield is up, and it removes and prevents psychic debuffs. So, she can use it on somebody, Knight America can kill the cooldown, and then she could use it on a second person. Havoc can channel energy in round 1 if Knight America goes ahead of him. Magneto can shield and shield again if it's broken. Cable was a failure for me when we tried it on the stream. I tried to temporal shift somebody and then have Knight America reset the cooldown on it. It didn't work. The cooldown didn't get reset. But we only tried it once, so maybe I messed up. Omega Sentinel is able to shield and hologram array twice in a row. Rescue gets a lot of benefit from Knight America. All these are buffs. So she is able to protect her protocol every round, but she could do 2 reconstruction matrices and 2 status resets, which is very, very strong, especially if you have the ISO that remove debuffs from your own team. It almost turns her into HAIF without the healing. Angrier can do 2 Twisted Flames. Thane, with his ISO, can shield and then shield again, which is pretty cool. Life and Death doesn't count. Heimdall is very, very good. You don't need to double up on Yallarhorn, but because Vigilance is a buff debuff, you can equip him with those nasty debuff ISOs and allow him to use it and then use it again the next round. Dr. Voodoo can do Evandor early if he breaks the cooldown with War Stories going before he acts in the first round. Plus, he could do it on somebody and then do it again. And I also believe there is an ISO for this that says everybody else gets the extra turn. So that's pretty strong. Much like Storm, Sabretooth can Berserker and then get Berserker back before the long cooldown. Essentially able to have 100% uptime on Berserker in PvP. The Warriors 3 are very, very strong with War Stories because, in Hogun's case, Elixir of Recovery comes off cooldown. And you can have 100% uptime of Skirmisher. Knight America loves Skirmisher because he's a scrapper and an infiltrator, and he does interrupts, which is considered a counterattack. Skirmisher bumps up the damage for it. If you ran a high offensive tilt, Knight America, Hogun, and an agent with things like the Cosmic Cardinal and the Rapier and the Grace Note will just do a lot of damage. Plus, Hogun is stealthy at level 15. Fandral gets double the benefit, except he sucks. On Guard comes off cooldown, and Elixir of Recovery comes off cooldown. Disengage, not that great. On Guard used to be extremely powerful, it no longer is. Volstagg comes out better than him because Guard the Rear comes off cooldown and Elixir of Recovery comes off cooldown. Sandman can do 2 Gathering Sand. Shayna's very strong because she could do Nature's Bounty as a quick action, then do something else. When she natures bounties, she heals somebody a lot, she removes their debuffs, and the next round she basically gets increased speed. So, if she does it and then you War Stories and she does it again, a lot of extra actions on Shayna's part. Cannonball can Kinetic Field, use it, and then he can break the cooldown on it and use Kinetic Field again 1 round early. Molly may be able to go right into a tantrum. I don't think so. Carolina can shield and then shield again. Victor can shield and then shield again. Destroyer is an absolute beast with Knight America. He's so good with it. Just as long as you have 2 stacks of Essence, use your 2 Essences Frenzy, build it up to 3 during the Frenzy, have Knight America break his cooldown, and then he Frenzies again. Over here, Howard gets some good benefit because he can Neurotrope and then Neurotrope again. Plus, by using the Coulson's BFG, it's just like Knight America's passive. Electro gets some good benefit because he can do Supercharge and then Supercharge again, which means he's constantly giving himself extra turns. Cloak and Dagger is able to heal the whole team early by breaking the initial cooldown or using it and then using it again. So, that's 2 rounds of super big cooldowns, super big healing, but Child of Darkness won't work because it is a single use. Cammy gets some benefit off of her gadgets. Blue Marvel really would work out well because he can clean the team and give them rising up buffs. And then if he gets a good amount of antimatter, Knight America can break that cooldown and give it right back to him. Mantis gets some good benefit off of the Psychic Transferal because she can give somebody an extra turn with potential unleashed and then have it be available the next round. Nova gains no real benefit other than the fact that you can Nova Prime earlier in combat and then lead the charge will enable Knight America to get 2 actions. And then that's pretty much about it. That's all the honorable mentions. For the agent, I recommend things like the Neurotrope, the light from the lantern, the second option. If you use War Stories before the agent in round 1, you can actually use the lamp's big heal and shield in round 1. Or use it again if you've already used it. The Shepherd's Staff is very good. The Staff of Asclepios is very good. The Neurotrope is the absolute best thing you could use with Knight America, but these are the really good Wombo combos that we were able to come up with for offense. Don't try these on defense. They're too complicated. Sorry the video's long, but it's a lot of really, really good stuff. Hope you enjoyed it.